What's up guys and welcome. You are watching Fazi Fitness.
So guys, channel membership is now live. Link is in the description and the first comment. Do check it out. That would really help
So
support
let's
the channel.
start this video with this 10 days out physique update from Tonio Ban. So he will be quote unquote the smallest guy in this upcoming Dubai Pro lineup. Because the guys he's gonna be going up against, they are Nathan, Behrouz, William Bonac, Rubiel Mosquera. So it will be very interesting to see how he stacks up against all of them. Now I 100% think that Tonio Ban is gonna be definitely in the mix. And this is the very first time since the Olympia back in 2023. Tonio is gonna enter a show against guys who have the ability to place higher than him at the Olympia level. Apart from the New York Pro last year, where he went up against the Mutant and Martin Fitzwater. So his personal best at the Olympia, that was top 8 a couple of years back. But we have to keep in mind, there was no Big Ramy, no Martin Fitzwater, no Nathan Deja, no Nick Walker in that Olympia lineup, not to mention Behrouz Tabani. So Dubai Pro this year, that will also give us a clear picture and a very good idea on how much of that size gap Tonio Ban has been able to close since Cali Pro last year, because he took more than 1 year off. And this will also give us the answer on where Tonio stands in the pro ranks at the moment, especially in reference to top 7 and top 8 spots at the Olympia level. So he said he's bringing something special to this upcoming Dubai Pro stage in around 10 weeks time from now. So let's just hope that he doesn't try to come in bigger at the expense of his conditioning. So the Legion Sports this year, the show that he won, that was like a walk in the park for him, because the guy who placed second at that show, that was Patrick Moore. And even though he came in bigger and rounder, his conditioning, I think we have seen Tonio in a better conditioning than what we saw this year. And Tonio himself also knows that he can come in a lot sharper, a lot more detailed. And that is something that's gonna separate him and the other guys at this upcoming Dubai Pro stage. Now Tonio has some amazing separation in his quads. Plus, he has a very complete and a very massive back. So both those things will go in his favor. Now he needs to come in at his sharpest, the way Dexter Jackson used to come. And maybe he can follow that same strategy as the Blade, because we saw he just kept on coming in very sharp. And the man was always ripped. And he kept on beating so many guys for so many years who were so much bigger than him.
Staying away from the faster cardio to prioritize my training intensity.
So this might come as a surprise for many people out there. But one of the biggest changes that Quinton made while coaching himself, which he has been doing since the New York Pro last year, is that he stayed away from fasted cardio. So his priority right now is putting 100% into the workout sessions every single day. And the man has been doing his cardio later in the day. So this is a different protocol compared to what majority of the pros out there follow. And it isn't that the fasted cardio that helps burning the fat. It's more of a scheduling thing. And it is more about starting the day on a good note. So here is how Quinton is looking right now, at about 8 weeks out from his first show of this season, which is going to be Tampa Pro. And I have got to say, for this far out, the man actually looks pretty damn good. Now some would say that he still needs bigger quads to match up to his upper body. And this is true to some extent, because the area which suffered the most, especially last year, during his prep for the New York Pro, where he got very peeled and very ripped. But he lost so much size, so much mass all over, and especially on his quads. His adductors specifically, they got the biggest hit, which led to that thigh gap, and that turned into a joke between Quinton and his fans. So right now, at 8 weeks out, Quinton is very determined that he's gonna coach himself all the way for this one. And if things do not go his way, at least he will be taking full responsibility on calling all the shots. Now, despite not being able to win his first pro show in the Men's Open, and considering the fact that he has been competing since 2017, his physique is still widely considered one of the most gifted physique, one of the most beautiful physique in the Men's Open at the moment. And we did saw a glimpse of that last year at Toronto Pro, when he placed second behind Akeem Williams, beating a bunch of very good bodybuilders. So what do you guys think? Can Quinton make it to this year's Olympia stage? Next up, we have the off-season physique update from a former classic physique competitor and a 2 times Miss Olympia champion Breon Anley. So we are now under 18 weeks out of this year's Miss Olympia, where Breon was aiming to make a big impact in the 212 class. But this response, given to one of his fans, that kind of gives us an idea that Breon might take this whole year off and just travel the world. And the thing is, he's nowhere close to being on prep, as we know Breon is one of those guys who is extremely dedicated and very disciplined, especially when he is in the prep and when he is truly logged in with his routine of training and posing. So it is no wonder why his coach and his trainer, Chris Cormier, he speaks so highly of him all the time. So Breon is now transitioning into a bigger division, and that is uncharted territory for him, because the guys in the 212, they are so much bigger and rounder and way more muscular than the ones in classic physique. And if he wants to take the full year off, he 100% deserves that, because the man has been competing non-stop since 2016, the year when classic physique was first introduced. But that being said, the biggest challenge that Breon is gonna face, that is trying to grow his quads, especially at his current age. I mean, the guy is 45 years old, and it's very simple. It won't get any easier for him next year. Now we as fans, we really wanna see how Breon will look like without such a restricted weight cap. He was among one of the most polished physiques in the entire classic, and a fuller, more muscular look on him, that will be such a treat for all of us bodybuilding fans to watch. So hopefully you guys haven't forgotten about Laszlo Kirali, one of the most epic physique in the entire classic physique division. So no matter how subjective you are, no matter how subjective this sport is, we can all agree that Laszlo's physique, that fits the classic physique definition perfectly by every standard. So he did just one show last year, and that was Texas Pro. And despite all the challenges that he had to endure, especially during that peak week, him and his coach, Patrick Tour, they delivered a sensational physique, without any shadow of a doubt his all-time best. And he was sort of winning that show until he turned around to hit those back shots, that back double biceps specifically. And that turned out to be the biggest weakness for Laszlo in that show last year. And he has been working on that since then. So his 1-year transformation, that looks absolutely stunning. Not only his side leg, that improved overall, but his physique overall. He has more mass, more density, more maturity. So he's planning to do a show later this year and hopefully get his Olympia qualification. Now, before Texas Pro last year, he was continuously being criticized for not having bigger and more muscular legs, especially that quad sweep, and for not having enough balance top to bottom. But the man came back so much better last year. He presented a very balanced physique, especially from the front. So that issue has been sorted. So I for one am really looking forward to his comeback this year and to see his final look. Now when we talk about upping the weight cap for classic physique by another few pounds, there are a certain type of physique which are gonna benefit the most if that ever happens. And this right here, Laszlo and his physique, that fits that criteria perfectly. So this is undoubtedly one of the most beautiful, one of the most aesthetic physique in classic physique. But do let me know, what do you guys think? Nathan Deja checks in from the O2 gyms in Kuwait, 10 days out from this upcoming Dubai Pro. Now people can talk about his long torso all day long, but one cannot ignore that this guy is 39 years old and he has been making steady improvements year after year. So those quads are looking super separated for 10 days out. And we have to keep in mind, he must be very flat at the moment. And Nathan is going for a more grainy and a dry look this time around. and he kind of roasted his biggest competition that he's gonna face at this upcoming Dubai Pro, and that is Behrouz Tabani. I mean, look at this comment right here. Now Nathan versus Behrouz. That has been a great rivalry, and Nathan has lost all 3 of the shows that these guys have done together, and we know the kind of mindset Nathan Deja has. He's entering this show with only one aim in his mind, and that is winning that show and getting that big paycheck of $140,000. So apparently his more fuller and rounder look that we saw at Italy Pro last year, that wasn't liked by the judges. But that was the show where it seemed that it was really close between Behrouz Tabani and Nathan, and a lot of people out there, they had Nathan winning that show. So Nathan is still pushing some crazy amount of weights in the gym. So that 4 plates drop set, while being on low carbs, and when he is so depleted, that was so insane. So do you guys think Nathan and Behrouz, they are gonna be the last 2 men standing at this upcoming Dubai Pro stage, fighting for that big paycheck in 10 days time? So hit the thumbs up button if you liked the video, and smash the subscribe button if you wanna come back for more. Thanks for watching.